Of all days today, I think it's appropriate to give a shout out, fuck the turkey, to pie. All kinds, shapes, sizes, flavors, and varieties. There's too many to name and too many to keep track of, but I'll try my best. At least the best kind of pies. Shout outs to cherry pie, apple pie, mud pie, coconut cream pie, lemon meringue, blueberry, mixed berry, peanut butter pie, key lime pie, mud pie? Yeah, I think I said that. So many pies, but the one that counts the most and means the most properly is poontang pie.
Just don't talk. Just don't talk.
Who this?
Those demons inside you. Let them go. Before it's too late.
I'm dying.
No way! I can't believe this!
Oh no, man, come on. Oh no. Don't die on me. God damn it. Don't die. Fuzzy.
Somebody did this.
You better give me the proper fucking intro I deserve. Considering I'm keeping it outside with the vibes, I'm keeping it outside with the atmosphere, the lighting, all that included for the sake of something spectacular. Yes, that is the podcast, the thing I do here every so often, every week practically at this point now. I've been faithful, I've been committed to it as well, I've been coming through, I've been like that one dad that willingly and respectfully, and more importantly, faithfully, pays that weekly child support assigned, or court-assigned, amount, with no fail. And not just because they gotta arrest his ass and drag him into a jail cell for the weekend stay, and only then will he pay what he was assigned to pay for, which is probably less than what he's expected to, but I'm also not a fan of overcharging a guy, man, whatever, or whoever's the money-making spouses of it too. A male, female, it could be also a female that makes more than a guy. I'm not a fan of the ones that are made to pay out the ass or through the nose for like alimony, child support, all that. So listen, there's no case scenario where, be it a male or female, which takes care of the child, needs like $10,000 a month. That's too much. No child, even if private school, whatever else kind of bullshit's involved, needs that much money a month, because that's $100,000, 2 more months in a year, of course, 12 total, not 10, $120,000 a year to basically support and maintain the child. I get the intent, but there's no case scenario where a child needs that much money, unless they're like, they got urgent medical necessity, or like they live on a ventilator or some other expensive shit like that. Maybe even then, I'd still question it, but it's more justifiable. But $10,000 for what? So the kid can be a fucking idiot and stay home and stream all day on Twitch, whatever else they got going on besides school, and they're being homeschooled anyway, so they're school 24/7. Sorry, they're home 24/7. It's unjustifiable. But that's child support. I got my whole dilemma with that too. I don't know any to nobody, so of course, applaud me on that as well too. Meaning I was a recipient of child support twice in my life. And I mean specifically because I can count 1, 2, twice. The only times me and my mother got anything from my father, as he was assigned to pay child support, chose not to. His choice, just did what he had to do, which is obviously one of those things, not pay child support. The only 2 times he ever paid the assigned amount, he was made to pay by the court, not willingly, by the court. Both times he had to get arrested and detained and told, if you want to stay out of jail, smartass, pay what's assigned for you to pay. And then at some point, my mom said, you know what, fuck it. I'm already working. I'm not making a lot. every little bit helps, but if it's going to be this difficult to have to drag him into court, and on top of that have the woman he decided to run off with be the one to pay for his ass to get out of jail and pay what he owes that week only for child support, it's not even worth it. Fuck it, we'll go about our ways and do things our own. That's fine. Independent woman, whatever you want to call it too. But you know what else is independent? This whole podcast, this operation, this whole entity, the whole empire I'm building. Slowly but surely, brick by brick, establishing a very strong and solid foundation because the groundwork is involved. We're going to get dirty. We're going to get heavily involved in what we do here from the ground up, building until we get to that skyscraper, that elevation, that status that signifies and solidifies the fact that this is something spectacular. Hosted by me, Who This? Thanks for joining me as you do for every other episode leading up until this one. You know, shout outs to Brendan, of course. He was on the last episode to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of Kanye West's greatest album, the best of them all. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. A lot of fun having him on. And don't forget, please, I must stress and emphasize that his single, currently out now, Dead Ass, is on all streaming platforms. I wish, well, growing up, I used to wish I was on the radio to say and announce and hype up something I was looking forward to as far as a single, album release, and whatever, you know, back when albums were released instead of EPs every other 2-3 weeks or so from your favorite artist. I used to look forward to be able to say, in stores now, all dramatically, and really hype it up, emphasize and whatnot. But now it's in, you know, generally speaking terms, in stores now, but technically and realistically now on all streaming platforms, available where you get your music from, what you wake up to, set as your alarm ringtone, whatever you got to do with Dead Ass, the new current available single from Brendan. That's Brenden. Don't make that mistake of searching Brendan with an A at the end. It's Brendan with 2 E's to emphasize the excellence of who the realist, by the way, at Realist Brendan on IG and just about everywhere you look. That's who you go to, and that's what you look up on motherfucking iTunes, Spotify, or wherever. Buy the single if you can. I did. I support my creative friends. And all creatives I believe in or I'm a fan of, I support. I believe in the Patreon thing, all that shit. Count me in. If you're creative and you're good, and I believe in you, you get my funds. I support you dead ass, or dead ass ching ching, like Brendan said and clarified on the last episode too. That was that whole debacle. I made sure I afforded him the platform to do so before anybody out here tries that dumb shit of canceling him of all things. You know, considering the dead ass community, literally those that live with a dead ass, the paraplegics, the vegetable people, the people in wheelchairs, you know, shout out to all of them, of course. But we meant no offense and no harm with titling the single Dead Ass, like Tony, or Dead Ass, Ching Ching, like Brendan said. All that aside, though, as always, shout outs to Brendan, of course. Something spectacular, of course, you know by now. Me, Who This? Who's hearing out that intelligent speaking? That's me, who you're looking at, who you're listening to right now. Emphasizing, of course, the fact that we used to live in an era where acronyms were, you know, few and far between, but they meant something. They were something significant or something cool. So I tried to embody that with Who This, paying all due respects to Wu-Tang, of course. Recently, again, the anniversary of their debut album, Enter the 36 Chambers. So shout out to them, of course, to the Wu-Tang clan, the bunch, the group, the entity. But getting back to the point at hand, something spectacular. Right now, listen. What's creeping up on us right now within a matter of days as far as when I record this, or this is being recorded, better yet said. We got Thxgiving, which I know you don't care about, and the one part of Thxgiving I don't care about, and I don't consider, is that we have to give thanks. I give thanks every day. You know, I do my little thank you before I eat. I say my little thank you before I get something that I wasn't expecting to get, or whatever else may come up. But the giving of thanks, or Dia de Acción de Gracias, as you would say in Spanish, the day of the giving of the thanks, as it literally translates to, is something that has lost value. Oh, from way before the pandemic, before they said now this year most likely. Stay the fuck away from whoever you had in mind to spend Thanksgiving with, because it's not safe. You're not going to be wearing masks. You're not going to be socially distanced. You're not going to be keeping clean or cleansing or cleansing each other's things before you share it amongst yourself. You know, you're still going to have the one aunt who's going to have not seen you since last Thanksgiving, is going to insist on spoon feeding you her potato salad with the raisins in it for some reason, after she took a mouthful of the mashed potatoes from over there and didn't even so much as just at least wipe it clean on a fucking apron, or if she's cooking, or she's one of the aunts that shouldn't be cooking and has to, on the low, buy her contribution to the Thanksgiving dinner. She, bought that shit, but again, didn't wipe, or just kind of just did one of these with a fucking t-shirt, a blouse, whatever, and still trying to spoon feed you. That's exactly what we got to prevent. It's crazy to think that, of all things, Thanksgiving is something we can't really give thanks to properly now. You're going to fucking probably settle for the Zoom Thanksgiving. Everybody need a little chat room. Everybody shares the dish. Oh, hey, I made the casserole this year. Haha, you can, if only you could smell and taste it. Yeah. If only your husband would have stayed with you and maybe looked, sniffed, and tasted it enough to stay with you. Aunt Karen, who gives a shit? But still, virtually, if you want to do that, I respect it. It's fine, whatever you want to do. I would just say that sense of it is overbearing enough to have to bring in food, to have to share time with people maybe you're not so crazy about, you're not so fond of. I never liked Thanksgiving. But my one thing against Thanksgiving was always the turkey. Turkey is always bland, overrated, overhyped as fuck. Turkey is kind of like the supreme brand of clothing is now, even though they just got sold for like, $1 billion or whatever. It's like this hype beast thing. Everybody has to have a turkey, but then the only incentive you would think will work would be the supermarket saying, oh, if you spend, nowadays with inflation, of course, now if you spend $400 or more at the store, you get a free turkey. What do I really need $400 worth of to get a fucking turkey that's going to cost me like $40, $50 anyway? It's this big fat thing. After you cook it, it shrinks down. You got to take a whole day off just to like wash it, brine, don't brine, stuff it, don't stuff it in before the oven, out after the oven, whatever. Whole preparation, this whole mental anguish you got to go into. And on top of that, listen, my mother, God bless her, always been a great cook. I won't even say that because I'm a mama's boy, and I'm not, by the way. She's always been great in the kitchen. The one thing besides desserts she's never gotten down pat was turkey, surprisingly, which would seem easy. It's just a lot of unnecessarily involved steps in the process to make the turkey happen. She never got it right. It'd be extra dry whenever she makes it. She kept trying year after year, insisting, it's American tradition. Oh, the white people do it. We have to copy to do the same thing. She's one of those, unfortunately. But never got it right. So I said, no. I put the axe on that. It's like they laid the turkey out in front of me. I'd chopped its neck off myself and said, no turkey this year. Why'd you kill the turkey anyway? We might as well eat it. Well, no. We're taking the carcass, we're taking the neck, and flinging it out the window. We're not bothering with that fucking dry-ass, overly sized dry-ass bird, excuse me. We're not going to bother with that. Get the fuck out of my way. So she did 1 year turducken, which was okay. It was odd enough. Turducken is the duck and the chicken and the turkey. That was okay. It was still the same amount of prep, whatever. She insisted on it. It was agitating. I got agitated from it, so I said, no, fuck it. We made it from that point forward tradition. I would just buy food. Either Peruvian food or preferably sushi, because sushi's like just the better option. Maybe not so much, surprisingly, the healthier option, but just the better option you're better suited for. But that's a whole Thanksgiving fiasco. Who gives a fuck about that? That's besides the point right now. Okay, it is about Thanksgiving. It is about, what's coming up this week. Obviously, Turkey Day unofficially. But the point I'm trying to make with this episode is there's Black Friday. Black Friday's dropping. Black Friday's still happening, regardless of the pandemic, regardless of people, whether they've been working or not. Stimulus check, been able to support themselves, pay their bills, keep their business afloat, whether they were small business owners or restaurant owners, which, of course, shout outs to all of them. Unfortunately, the ones that have had to succumb or bite the dust because of the pandemic, and they can't stay afloat because of only limited to outside dining or very limited inside crowds. That I'm sure you're familiar with that thing if you've been following the news and or you're not living under a rock. Obviously, we're in the midst of a pandemic still. But point being is that it's tragic. Black Friday, however, has been expanded from the one day within the month of November to this whole month. It's been playing out the Black Friday daily sales, where you go anywhere you go to, Best Buy, Target, you know the culprits by now. Wherever you go to the Black Friday to like amass, massive group of people and, do whatever you got to do to justify, punching out an old lady short of, hopefully you're not doing it, just to buy a TV you might have bought during the year regularly at like $50 more than what you got it for on Black Friday of all things. I don't necessarily buy into Black Friday unless it's a really good sale, which most of the times it's not. It's just, I think at least, I could be wrong. If someone works in the industry who can confirm otherwise, please do so. I think it's mostly stores trying to get rid of the inventory they had left over throughout the year, and what better time than Black Friday to be hyped up, holiday season coming up, of course, get rid of what we got too much of, put it at a price that has probably been at some point already, but just make the people think that they're saving a whole lot of money so they can buy more shit on top of all the shit they bought here and send them home happy. Clean inventory, stock up on whatever's coming in for that next season, etc., etc. It's all a business. It's all a bigger scheme and larger scale thing than we could probably better grasp, understand. But the hot commodity, I believe, this Black Friday will be clearly, and I'm surprised it didn't drop this week or during Christmas, but it decided to drop 2 weeks before Black Friday, actually, or Thanksgiving itself, is PlayStation 5, which, shout outs to the gamer community. I'm a part of it proudly. I'm older than I should be as far as admitting to being a gamer still, but I have no shame in that, I'll be in my 40s and my 50s, still up to date with all the new tech involved, all the new games out and all that shit too. My wife will probably hate me. I'm not married now. I'm saying my to-be wife, my girlfriend currently now. She'll probably hate the fact that I do it, but it keeps me out of the streets. It keeps me at home, etc., etc. I'm sure gaming spouses can better paint that scenario for you or help you understand that better than I could paint it right now. But point is, you get what I'm saying, I think. So, PS5 right now, is out officially. Wherever you look around the world, it's out there ready for you to just snatch up. Or you would think so. It's not. I don't understand what happened. First things first, there's the fact that people had a big issue, a huge gripe with, of all people, Travis Scott, shout outs to him, H-Town boy, top of the world, sells all kinds of music all the time. I believe the first artist to do that Fortnite live concert thing that he did earlier this year. Got a deal, been having deals with Nike to drop his exclusive Cactus Jack line of sneakers, which I couldn't get, so I didn't like any of them, to be honest. I would have just copped to resell. So yeah, I'm one of those. I'm guilty. I'll admit to it. It's business. I used to do that with Yeezys. Back a couple of years ago, when you can get some Yeezys online, you were lucky enough to get at least a pair. I did that too, because I didn't like any of the color schemes. The only ones I kept for myself that I wanted for myself, and I was lucky enough to get, were the Zebras re-release. I kept those, and I still wear those proudly. I'm also not one of those that cop just a stock and never ever wear. I actually cop to wear, run through them, and if I'm lucky enough to get a second backup pair, I go through those too. But I keep them in stock when times come to use them. That's besides the point, though. But of all people, they're upset that Cactus Jack, Travis Scott, got a PS5 allegedly. People insisted, allegedly got a PS5 before the rest of the world did. I'm talking about months ago, because there was that Instagram post of him having the PS5 controller on his lap, but people were saying, well, the TV screen's not on, there's no sound playing, it's a picture, not a video, Photoshop, faking the funk. He's lying and crying about it, bitching, moaning about it. Like, come on. He's Travis Scott. He's got a deal with McDonald's to promote his Travis Scott meal. I don't know if it's still out there yet. I haven't tried it because I think all it is just a quarter pounder with lettuce and I think bacon or something like that. So nothing new there. It's just the fact that branding, of course, Travis Scott meal, $6 with a Sprite and all that. I hate Sprite, so I'm really not going to try that meal if it's still available. It worked. Always sold out. I think there was merch to go with it too as well besides the meal. So, you know, you're getting all kinds of litty and excited for yourself up in Travis Scott, McDonald's affiliated brand merch, eating your quarter pounder just to be hyphy, just to be litty, whatever the terminology they use now. But there's that. People getting mad over that. Why wouldn't he get it though? That's the thing I never understood. The logic behind it made no sense to me because there was no logic. He's a celebrity. Brands are going to market first to those who are famous, have a following, have an audience as big as Travis Scott's does. Why wouldn't they pursue him to get his crowd hyped up about McDonald's, hyped up about the Nike sneakers he had? There's some other endorsement deal he had that escapes my mind right now, but of course, Travis Scott, why not? He's a proven success. I mean, he's got the Jenners at his side. I mean, he split from Kylie or Kendall, whichever one he was with and had a baby with, you know, reduced to playing the baby daddy role right now, but still, he's still got that link to them. So he's good. He keeps dropping his music, keeps doing his thing, or keeps, better yet, cashing these checks from endorsement deals. He's good. What's he got to worry about? So why can't he have a PS5 before I do, before you do, before anyone else you can imagine in your immediate circle does or does not have probably right now? Then there was Michael B. Jordan, because he did like a impromptu, like kind of unofficial preview of the PS5 before it dropped, whenever it did, I think November 12th or something like that. People were getting on him about, well, who's Michael B. Jordan to be getting a PlayStation 5 before I do? I'm a hard-working, blue-collar citizen that pays my taxes and this, that, whatever, and just these emotionally overdriven, for no reason, rants about somebody simply getting a gaming system that we don't need, first off. I'll admit to it. I love gaming. I've been playing for as long as I can remember. And I still suck at games. So I got all kinds of reasons to give up being a gamer because I'm trash in any game you put me in. I fucking suck. The only game I ever beat in my life was Super Mario 64. And that's not anything to really be proud of because take the time out of your day to do so, you can run through it. So I shouldn't be proud of myself at all, but I'll give myself a hearty applause for that. I love Call of Duty. I'm playing Cold War right now. Gamer tag, by the way, if you want, Who This Is One at the end. 2 S's in this. Who This Is One. I suck at that. I never won a game. I haven't ever won a game. I have never won a game, excuse me. Grammatical fail also as well, on top of video game fails. But I never won a game in that either. But I have fun, even if I'm losing. Even if people are in my ear, most likely underage, yelling racial slurs and talking about my mother when I haven't met her ever in their life because I'm not helping the team win the multiplayer match, whatever, team deathmatch I think it's called. I still have fun, even if I'm losing badly or I'm getting blown out the ass, whatever, but still. they get mad of all people at Michael B. Jordan because, okay, he did the routinary kind of safe, like, yo, it's awesome. I love this game. Ooh, the graphics are so real and whatever. It was kind of phoned in, to be honest. I'm a fan of his. I respect his work. A lot of people say he's mostly a face actor. He just does a lot like this stuff, which I'll admit he is kind of guilty of, but he's not bad either. And also, he's pretty committed to whatever role he plays. At least his face is committed to the role, to act out like the scenarios, whatever. I think he kind of overdid it. And shout outs to, and rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther. I don't know how they're going to make Black Panther 2 now, which they said supposedly filming starts July 2021. But that's besides the point. Michael B. Jordan did kind of overdo it with some lines, some of the delivery in Black Panther as a Killmonger. I believe so. Some parts were good. Some parts were like a little too much of the sauce applied where it's dripping off the side. It's like too thick and coated. But either way, I give him a shout out to that. It's cool. I liked it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. But of all people to get mad of, Travis Scott and Michael B. Jordan, they're on top of their game. They're the face of the genre they represent. Travis Scott music, even if that's not your go-to per se, your preferred genre of music, and Michael B. Jordan. Okay, he's not the greatest actor in the world. He's not the best actor in the world. He's not De Niro, Pacino, whoever else you can name, Tom Hanks, Jack Nicholson, whoever else you might have in mind. But he's young enough to build up to that status. He's not Denzel. He's not Forrest Whitaker. He's not, what's his name, Don Cheadle, all that. But he can build to that because he's still young enough to do so. And so far, that I could think of, I mean, okay, maybe besides Fantastic Four, the remake, which was unnecessary and trash on top of that. If you're going to be unnecessarily remade for whatever reason, at least try to be good. But that movie was like...
No way! I can't believe this!
Why? Why even bother making that movie? But they did so anyway. He made his check, bank off that, whatever, but I'm sure he regrets it. But... besides that, I can't really think of him being bad or making a movie worse because he was in it. He's not one of those. He's good. Let's give him enough credit. I mean, listen, he did Creed 1 and Creed 2, the fucking continuation of the Rocky saga series that we love and hold so dear and close to our hearts. I don't know if anybody else would have been able to do it like he did. He makes it sincere enough where you kind of can't help but love him. Maybe you're not supposed to because of how he approaches it initially as far as his character's concerned, but he played it well. 3 coming up, allegedly, it might be Clubber Lang's son. Mr. T might be involved or dragged back into that one. And then I think I read somewhere, and it makes sense at this point, it's going to be the 9th installment of the Rocky saga series, whatever, where Rocky finally dies. So I hate to bear the thought of that. Who knows what they end up doing, what Sylvester Stallone thinks of, and when it's even going to come out, because of course pandemic productions has ceased for a lot of our favorite things, movies, shows, whatever, all that too. So let's see what happens there too. But that's Michael B. Jordan talk. Michael Bay Jordan, no shame. I believe he's a good looking young man. He's tremendously in shape, and he's officially, at least according to GQ, I believe, the sexiest man alive of the year, whatever. So he gets to hold that title for a year until, we crown the sexiest pandemically related man of the year next year, whatever. I don't know who might win that. And they'll have to accept via Zoom and whatever, Skype, shit like that. So it'll be awkward. I'm sexy and while I'm breaking up where I'm set. And, that whole thing. But yeah, back to PS5. PS5, why would you get mad at a celebrity of all things, of all people, to get endorsed before you do, or you're able to get your grubby little paws on a PS5? And then listen, there's the whole thing now about people getting upset that because they couldn't get the PS5, they got to settle for the Xbox Series X, which I'll admit, the Xbox Series X looks cool, even if it's a big, chunky, oversized Lego block or brick, whatever. It's got that paneling, the holes in it with the lights underneath it that stays green. That's cool. There's a bunch of assholes that was smoking for whatever reason and blowing their vape smoke into it to make it seem like, oh, look, it overheats. PS5 rules. Girls drool, whatever. I don't understand the point of that whole thing. Why even try to paint the Xbox to be like that? Because it seems like, allegedly, from what I've read and seen, supposedly Xbox, the Series X, graphically is superior to the PS5. It's got the better hardware. It's able to handle more and make it all look more prettier than the PS5 does. I haven't seen, in person at least, the PS5, how it runs, action-wise, all that shit too. From what I've seen in videos and reviews and all that, Xbox has the better gameplay footage overall. Does that really matter? To me, no. I don't care so much about graphics. I'm more about how long can I play this game for realistically? How long am I going to keep coming back to it? That's me, though. A lot more people are concerned about how it looks, if it's polished enough, if it's pretty, etc., etc. Not over here, not in my case at least. But it does seem like it's hardware-wise superior to the PS5. The clear-cut advantage goes to PS5, and why it's being sold out as soon as it's restocked is because it's got the stronger lineup of, obviously, the lead. I believe the lead launch game was Miles Morales officially. So I didn't get that. I'm not going to get it for PS4 because, hopefully some sort of surprise. And hopefully enough people agree with me, as Brendan did in the last episode. I'm waiting for the black PS5 to drop because I got talked into the Snow White PS4 Pro I got, which I don't hate. It gets dirty too quick. I'm sure a black one will get just as dirty or dirtier, at least with dust and lint, whatever. But the white one, it's cool. I hate how the controller looks. It gets grimy after a while. I got to clean it, and it's odd to clean the controller. You got to get in there with a Q-tip or a lint cloth and shit. It never works out. But I'm waiting for the black PS5. That's me. There's people that are so impatient now on top of things that they have to have the PS5 for some reason, to the point where resellers are taking advantage. There's a whole thing with the bots, people that get a hold of 10, 20, 40 systems in advance and somehow get them for the sake of reselling them, obviously. If they keep one themselves, I'd be surprised. But they look at it more at the financial advantage, of course. Again, I'm guilty of doing that with Yeezys years ago. When you could still cop them kind of online, you'd have to still wait hours upon hours in the waiting room, the virtual waiting room, see if you get in. Once you get in, see if they have your size available. I didn't care when I was reselling. I'd get whatever size that made sense, cop them, get them in the mail, resell them. Okay, I just sold them for at least twice the price. So made my money back and then some. When I copped the zebra ones I wanted, those were strictly for me. And I got lucky enough I got my size. I've been happy with those. Ever since then, and the fact that so many Yeezys drop anyway, and color schemes, models, whatever too, and all that, it's been impossible, so I've just stopped that completely. I've been deterred from doing so. With the PS5 now, I believe, as far as I checked, I've still seen that they're still selling them for 2-3 times the price on Craigslist. Be careful with Craigslist, period. I've had nothing but luck with Craigslist till now, thank God. I've heard the horror stories otherwise, and I would think with PS5 of all things, stay away from Craigslist, because you're not seeing anything for less than 1,000, which the PS5, the one with the disc is was it 6 or 5, whatever, so 2 times that. 1,000 minimum is come on. You're an absolute sucker if you buy it. So it's not so much maybe hate on or solely hate on the resellers, the ones taking advantage of those who really want the systems to actually play and use or give as a gift for somebody that's a gamer in their life. You also got to place some hate on and some guilt on those who are buying from the resellers, who are enabling them to do so, because I'm going to cop, I'm going to resell, and I'm going to make bank off of it at least twice what the thing's worth, because I know somebody has to have it. And again, has to have it, quote unquote, because you don't need one. You don't need one that bad. And let's be honest, your kid ain't been that good this year to merit one. because pandemic, I work from home, so I know I'm not doing my work all those 8 hours I'm supposed to be on the clock. I'm fucking around, I'm picking my nose, I'm scratching my ass, all while I'm watching or binging on some series or movie I've been meaning to catch up on. So I'm not fully committed to fucking the whole thing the whole time. I know better, but I try to do better day. You know, God's working on us slowly but surely, some more than others. Place some of us on hold in the virtual waiting room, but still, you get the point. But, and your spouse, well, listen, let me not get into spouse talk because I might be blowing spots up unwillingly, unconsciously with like rhetoric and thoughts and maybe things that you didn't think of, but now you're going to check because of me. So maybe your spouse hasn't been that good either to merit a PS5. Or there was that meme going on around before the release of like, you know, make sure these women treat you like the king that you are, king to merit and deserve your PS5. You know, it was funny, but I think some took it to heart too much. But no one really needs a PS5 like that. So the fact that you're enabling these people too as well, those of you guilty of buying from them, I mean, not those of you because you just hate the hate. No, I mean, you specifically, if you went out of your way, you had to go to a seedy neighborhood. You had to deal with persons, obviously more than one, because they come with backup. Because you saw them on Craigslist, and you were able to talk them down from like $1,200 to $1,100 for a PS5. And on top of that, they're saying, well, I only got the version with the disc on it, not the discless version. Oh, but I wanted the discless, but I'll take the disc version, whatever. It's the same thing, just a couple more, you know, bit of money, whatever. And you're doing all that for whatever reason. When you look back on things and then you see, okay, what's a PS5 on the release date of? I couldn't order online or pre-order beforehand, unfortunately, which is the case too many times now. What's that compared to waiting after the holiday season? Once they confirm, Sony at least, it's restocked as of January, February, whatever. What are you really missing out on? What? The fact you couldn't do another one of the millions of YouTube unboxing of the PS5 videos? Jump on that bandwagon? Or what? Are you going to settle now for the Xbox Series X just because you couldn't cop the PS5? But then what if you're not an Xbox guy? You got to buy the Xbox Live subscription. You got to buy the controllers, the apparatuses, the peripherals and all that. You know what I mean. You got to fucking readapt your whole lifestyle just to Xbox and stuff. And you got to re-buy games you had on PS4 to Xbox and then convert back and all that shit too. That's another thing. That whole switching on and off between each and every other system confuses me. I hate the fact that you can't simply just transfer data as we are now at this point with the clouds and such, just from one to the other. Or if you want to go PC route as well too, you can do that with the PC as well. It's all confusing. And it's all kind of like, listen, if Call of Duty can do it for Warzone with like PS4 players can play with the Xbox and the PCs and all that too, why not do it up with the systems, period? Yes, there is a fact in theory that now with the PS5 introducing the discless version of the system, that they're trying to make it seem, well, they're making it that you have to buy games digitally, download them if they feel like taking content out, or like they've done in the past with games you purchased online digitally through the virtual store. They feel like taking that game back because of copyrights, or the case now with Grand Theft Auto 4, where I don't know where the fuck I can get a copy of it anymore because some songs had copyrights or whatever lawsuits on them, so the game got taken away. It was reintroduced without that station or those songs in it, but then it got taken away again. I don't know where to find it now. And I love GTA 4, honestly, for the fact that online in GTA 4 was way more fun than 5 is right now. 5 ideally would have been great because graphically it got updated. So much more to do in GTA 5, of course, compared to GTA 4. And the world's so big, expansive, all this shit too, whatever. But online, simply put, GTA at least, it comes down to somebody hacks it, somebody finds a code to get all the in-game money possible, to buy all the weapons, all the vehicles. They harass you, they kill you nonstop until you either leave the server or they get bored of killing you repeatedly over and over again every single step you take. Shout out to Sting for that one. Like I've been the victim of plenty of times. Jesus Christ, I'll take 2 steps outside my fucking home and they get popped in the head. The same guy will come back a minute later with the flying Lamborghini or the flying motorcycle, zap me to death again. They'll send a fucking airstrike on me, whatever the fuck. Then I gotta fucking switch servers, but then I commit to it. I'm like, no, I'm gonna wear you out. You keep killing me as much as you have to until you get tired of it too. So then there's that. But then also now, there's a whole thing of me, again, missing GTA 4. Because of the online aspect. It was cool, it was simple, to the point, but it was so much fun. I'd stay there for hours, just playing randomly online at the airport, blowing each other up, killing each other, because you couldn't amass or unlock all the weapons or the cars, everything. You kind of had to run your way, earn your way to everything, too. So I think that's what kept it in check and fun. And as I read, they're about to, like, kill those servers off of GTA 4. So you're stuck with GTA 5. And then as of now, they just announced GTA Online's getting another expansion pack, another bit of DLC. I think they're going to expand the map or something, add on to it or something like that. People were upset. I get it now at this point. A lot of people were just bitching to bitch. But now GTA 5 has seen 3 systems already. I think this is kind of unheard of. I remember copping GTA 5 when it dropped for Xbox 360. I got the special collector's edition, this big ass box with a fucking hat, a money bag, the same old version everyone got of the fucking game. No steel case, nothing. It was just regular thing, but like the manual to like beat all the missions and all that shit too. So memorabilia, but it ended up not being worth it because then I switched over to Xbox One. Apparently, I couldn't transfer my data over or something like that. I think I did. But then I went from Xbox One to PS4 Pro, so I lost all that online data there. I had to buy the games over again, and of course GTA with that. And now, when I get the PS5, apparently I can reinstall GTA 5 again with the online features again and play that game again until, if ever, GTA 6 comes out too. When's that dropping? 7 years already, guys. Rockstar, listen, you make fantastic games. I loved shoutouts to Red Dead Redemption 2. Fun game. Enjoyed it so much. And still enjoying it right now. Where's GTA 6 at, though? Come on. It's unfair at this point. It's unrealistic to think 7 years now. Although they have taken those gaps and all that, too, between each version. But still, let's get on the ship already. Hear the people out. Pandemic. Who knows how long, with shutdowns looming upon us again now. How long this thing will continue to play out for. This right now is a perfect time to just drop the game on us. Rockstar's been pretty good overall, though, so maybe we're just playing too much into this DLC now, and they might just surprise us over the holidays, maybe in time for Christmas, with GTA 6 launching whenever, officially, finally. We heard the cries and all that. We're giving in, pretty much. But there's that also. I mean, come on. And again, if you're guilty of either reselling, okay, you're a dick. If you're buying from the resellers because you have to, you're also a dick. So we all share fairly in being a dick. Just as guilty as being a dick as you are is as guilty as I am in this case too, because no one needs the PS5 like that. No one needs the Xbox Series X like that. It's insulting the Xbox that because you couldn't get the PS5, you're going to sell it for the Xbox X, Xbox Series S, whatever. Because of that, too, as well. You're cucking yourself. You're cuckolding yourself to your potential and your greatness in full. Just because you have to have something. You feel like you have to have something. But then how does that add value to you when you Twitch stream for like a day solid, a day straight of whatever game you have in mind? What did you get from it? Unless you got 50 subscribers or more according to Twitch, you ain't making even money from it. So then what do you get from it? That's what I'm saying. And listen, one last thing to touch on, besides the fact that Black Friday is a whole monthly thing now, a whole month now, I mean to say, excuse me. I thought that considering this year was the 35th anniversary of the Super Mario Brothers franchise, yeah, they did special things. You know, I copped the 3D All-Stars for Switch as well. I got that. I'm still trying to finish Mario 64 again. Even if it's 20 years later for me. But still, they did release a bunch of shit with it. A lot of course, merch, 35th year anniversary special, limited release, limited stock, etc., etc. How they do it, you know how they do by now. Nintendo's also just as guilty as trying to, you know, make a lot of this like Sony and Microsoft is. There was a Game & Watch, a special edition Game & Watch, which was released that had Mario Brothers 1 and the Japanese version of Mario Brothers 2, The Lost World, which is the Mario Brothers 1 just with like harder levels to beat and some other shit on it too. Point is, I thought, okay, that's going to be memorabilia, which I'm going to cop 2 of. One for me to keep and then one for keeps. Whenever they go up in value, they become memorabilia like that, or they have some value to it, and okay, guilty. I'll resell it, whatever. I jumped the gun, so I am just as guilty as any of you are for buying a PS5 just on a much lesser scale. I didn't have to pay twice as much for it, but I did have to pay as much in euros. Because of all things now, I got one finally from Amazon, about time, fucking England, European, Amazon, whatever you got. And I got mine here. Except you can see here, painfully obvious, is the fucking U in color. So now I gotta settle for the fact that this is glaring right back at me whenever I play this thing. The Game & Watch Super Mario Brothers Edition, 35th year anniversary, whatever the fuck, couleur screen. So I gotta say it with the in it. Like I'm a French man, like I'm an English man, like I'm a Welsh, German man, whatever, couleur screen. And even the rating system. That's the thing they be using in Europe. 3 for green, whatever, because I'm like a 3-year-old at this point. I probably have as much common sense as a 3-year-old for buying this version of it, insisting on it. 0 plus, you know, they're trying to insult me with that, saying I'm a 0 plus for buying this from Europe. But as far as I looked up, yeah, this isn't even on sale near me immediately. But I'd have to drive out to Jersey, and that's like me actually saying something nice about Brooklyn ever in my life. Not happening, so take that. But listen, it's a whole ordeal. You don't need a PS5. It's not of urgent nature. Need to get checked for COVID. That's one thing. If you don't choose to, okay, I understand. Maybe you don't feel the symptoms. Maybe you don't feel the urgent need to. You should be socially distancing. Please be considerate at least of what they're trying to help us for our sakes do. Please wear a mask because for the simple fact that ever since the gym reopened, or the gyms, shout outs to that, I've been going back, I've been loyal, I've been getting in shape again because pandemic took a toll on me. I lost a lot of weight, but with that, I lost a lot of gains. So I want to keep going to the gym. Wear a mask during the gym. It's fine. I'm in the part of Queens that got shut down again for 2 weeks because people weren't wearing the masks. So they had to close down for 2 weeks according to Cuomo, or I believe it was de Blasio. He said that part of Queens is like a red, orange zone, close out for 2 weeks until you learn to behave better. You know, go stand in the corner for now and think about what you did, idiot, kind of thing, of that nature. Made it through the 2 weeks, they opened up again, and now there's the looming fact that potentially more shutdowns, this time on a grander, bigger scale. So please get tested, be clean, wash your hands, wash your ass, wear your mask, go about your business outside, and more importantly, not for Thanksgiving, which, by the way, happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. However you choose to celebrate, preferably as socially distant as possible from whoever you don't need to be around, especially if it's family you don't want to see, you're not particularly a fan of. Stay the fuck away from them, as you would normally. This time you got a perfect excuse. Pandemic. I can't see you, Aunt Debbie, and your dry-ass fucking biscuits that fall apart by even just looking at them. So, you know, you use too much starch or whatever the fuck you did with them, you dumb bitch. This is why you're still single till now. You got the perfect excuse. You don't have to be nice. You don't have to fake nice. You don't have to eat what you don't want to eat. Or if you're vegan, there's that whole ordeal about Turkey Day. The rest of the family wants to do it, but then it's not that you don't want to, so that you can't because it goes against your belief as a vegan. You're staying firm, and shout out to the vegan that ain't like annoying or pretentious or like everywhere they go, they got to announce, I'm vegan, I'm vegan, I'm vegan. You know, I understand where you're coming from, but you got the perfect excuse now to just stay away from them. So let's be conscious of this Thanksgiving. We'll take a knee on that Kaepernick tip, and let's see what comes of for next Thanksgiving. Because Christmas most likely is going to be canceled. The spirit of, per se, of gathering and amongst loved ones and all that shit too. But it's for our safety right now. Now, whether you do or you don't believe in a mask, I'm not trying to tell you, or I'm not trying to say you have to wear a mask or you're an asshole. No, just keep in mind, that's what they're suggesting we do for the sake of hopefully killing the virus, reducing the risk of more cases accumulating day by day, and also the whole vaccine thing. Who knows when, if it'll come soon enough for it to matter to us, and see if it'll save our lives. I don't know, to be honest. Who knows when and if, and we can trust it first off, because there's a whole other thing with immunizations, vaccines, the anti-vaxxers, anti-whatever the fuck people that exist too. Let's not touch that because that's way too much of a mess to even try to understand or deal with. But you get what I'm saying. Point is, something spectacular. Who this? I'm the host. I host this humble little thing, this humble little operation called Something Spectacular. I hold so dearly and close to my heart. It's my baby. That's what I do. I take care of this, I nurture this, I feed this so that it grows. Hopefully it grows as far as the audience is concerned, who listens, who watches to this thing too. Who watches this thing too? Excuse me. I'm just caught up in the emotion, the overwhelming thought of Thanksgiving. Finally, I'll be left alone. Well, I'll be here with my girlfriend and her parents too as well. I'm cooking this year. And believe me, bird ain't on the menu. It's either sushi if I'm lazy, or if I feel like it, I'm making something else that ain't turkey, point blank. Period. Something spectacular though. Do me a favor, please, if you like what you heard, if you enjoy what you watched right now, watch aspect, please, youtube.com/whothisis1. It'll be in the description, so if you, in case you need clarification, spelling and all that said, whatever. If you liked what you listened to as well, please, I'm on all DSPs, digital streaming platforms. Just search something Spic, S-P-I-C, Tacular. You'll find me there. Subscribe, rate, comment, share, all that, please. It's the season to give back. It's the season to give to those in need. And I need you to do me that solid, please, and share the show, all the posts I do on IG, by the way, as well, too. Whothis.is. 2 S's in this. Whothis.is. So for all you people with a lisp out there, it's easier for you to do the promo for me. I'll gladly pay somebody to do it for me. Who this is. Of course, I'm kidding. Shout out to all the people with the lisp. The lisp is not as severe as you make it out to be. It's all in your mind. I've dealt with plenty of people with lisp. It's never annoyed me. I've never made fun of people with lisp. If anything, it seems more endearing, because you try that much harder to pronounce and literally push through your teeth to make that happen and give an emphasis to everything you do. So shout out to all you out there. Again, something spectacular. Who this? Wu-Tang Clan, shout out to them. For the sake of my name also being an acronym, Who This? W-H-O space D-I-S-S. Who's hearing out space that? Urbanized, minoritized, but always emphasized. D-A-T, dat. Intelligent, speaking out there to you, the world out there. Happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving. Please be safe, count your blessings, and make sure you don't overpay for a PS5, an Xbox Series X, because you couldn't get the PS5, or let alone the European version of the Game & Watch Super Mario Brothers game, because now I got to color it properly and address it as such. Couleur, of all things. Imagine that. Fuck Europe. Not fuck Europe, I'm just saying fuck and then ... Europe, of all things.
Yo, it's over. All right, it's over. It's over. Move the mic. Move the mic.
Thank you.
All right.